He was born on an island that had just been sold. His people were not French, his language was not French, and for most of his early life, neither was his heart. Yet this one man would go on to crown himself Emperor of France, redraw the map of Europe, and become the most studied military commander in all of human history. His name was Napoleon Bonaparte. But before the empire, before the battles, before the legend, there was just a boy. A poor, angry, brilliant boy from a small island in the Mediterranean who felt like an outsider everywhere he went. This is his story from the very beginning. On August 15th, 1769, on a small rugged island in the Mediterranean called Corsica, a baby is born in the coastal town of Ajaccio. His name is Napoleon Bonaparte. Corsica itself had just changed hands, only a few months before his birth. France purchased the island from the Republic of Genoa, so little Napoleon was born French, but his family's heart was still Corsican. Napoleon was the second of 8 surviving children. His mother was Letizia Ramolino. She was known as a stern and fiercely protective woman. She ran the household with strict discipline. His father was Carlo Buonaparte. He was ambitious and charming. A lawyer by profession who loved politics. He first fought against the French takeover of Corsica, but after France won, he chose to work with the new rulers. He used French connections to advance in his position. As a boy, Napoleon was quiet and intense. He did not play much with other children. Instead, he loved to read. He borrowed books about history and geography and would sit for hours, lost in stories of Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar. He would stage mock battles with his brother Joseph, always insisting on being the commander. France may have bought the island, but to him, Corsica was still a nation. He admired Pasquale Paoli, the Corsican patriot who had fought for independence. When Napoleon was 9, his father used his new French connections to get him a scholarship. It was a huge opportunity, but it meant leaving everything behind. In 1779, Napoleon sailed to France to attend a religious school, and then the military academy at Brienne-le-Château. In the academy, the other students mocked him for his accent. He spoke French with a thick Corsican accent. Napoleon was different in every way. He answered by retreating into his studies. He buried himself in mathematics, geography, and history. When snow fell, he organized the boys into elaborate snowball fights, showing for the first time his gift for tactics and leadership. At Brienne, Napoleon was rarely first in his class overall, but in mathematics and artillery theory, he was phenomenal. His teachers noticed. One wrote, "Corsican by character and birth, will go far if circumstances favor him." He had few friends. He preferred the library to the playground. While other boys went home for holidays, Napoleon often stayed at school. His family could not afford to bring him back to Corsica. The distance hurt him. He missed his home. He missed the sound of Italian, spoken in the streets. France felt like a foreign country, and in many ways, it was. Then, in 1785, news came that changed everything. His father, Carlo, had been sick for years with stomach trouble. At only 38 years old, Carlo Buonaparte died. Napoleon was just 15. As the oldest son able to take responsibility, the weight of the family fell on his shoulders. Letizia and his 7 siblings would now depend on him. The death forced him to grow up fast. He requested early graduation from Brienne so he could enter the École Militaire in Paris and begin earning a salary as an officer. In Paris, Napoleon studied at the most prestigious military school in France. But he was still an outsider. He still spoke with his accent. He still had no money. He finished the 2-year course in just 1 year. In September 1785, at age 16, he received his commission. He was now Second Lieutenant Napoleon Bonaparte in the artillery. Artillery was not glamorous like the cavalry. It was technical. It was about mathematics, angles, and gunpowder. It suited him perfectly. He was posted to Valence in southern France. He was just a teenager, far from home, with a dead father and a family relying on him. He still dreamed of Corsican independence. He still wrote in his diary about his hatred of the French. But history had other plans. The quiet, bullied Corsican boy with a head full of maps and battles was now an officer in the French army. And so ends the first chapter, a childhood of pride, poverty, loneliness, and loss. The next chapter would bring revolution, war, and an empire. But that story begins with this one, a boy from Ajaccio who never quite felt at home. Now wearing the uniform of the nation he once resented. And that is where we leave Napoleon for today, a boy from Ajaccio, mocked, isolated, and grieving, but already dangerously ambitious. If you made it this far, it means you love history just as much as I do. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, because this is just episode 1 of a 10-part series. Every episode goes deeper, gets darker, and gets more intense. You do not want